All right, we got a good one. Ernest Cervantes, Burnt Bean Company, and Case Han is back. All right, it's going to be fun. Let's go.
I'm Ira Green from Kingsbury, Texas with Flying G BBQ. You're watching live on the Smoking Gooder Show. So Smoking Gooder Show. I fucked that all up. Ira Green with Flying G BBQ from Kingsbury, Texas, watching live. Ira Green with Flying G BBQ from Kingsbury, Texas, and you're watching the So Smoking Gooder Show.
All right, I always love that one from Ira. How you doing, Case? Welcome back, buddy.
Yeah, live from the trailer park, baby.
Live from the trailer park. Guys, what up, Gooder Gang? Thanks for tuning in to the So Smoking Gooder Show. We're gonna have a good one tonight. We've got Mr. Ernest Servantes from Burnt Bean Company. I think he's probably our most attended guest, I believe. I'm gonna discuss that and talk about that in just a moment, but we're going to have a good one. I appreciate you guys tuning in, whether you're watching on Facebook. I see a lot of YouTube comments in the deal already in the chat. Case, we're YouTube famous. We are well on our way, brother. Well on our way.
Hundreds of views.
Look, there it is. We already got it. YouTube famous. That's the goal, bro. That's the goal. No, I don't know. I appreciate you guys checking us out. Again, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, however you're finding the show, thank you very much. My name is Robert Roach, and I'm coming to you from the Bullhorn headquarters in Cypress, Texas. Alongside of me, all right, Case Han. Welcome back, Case Han. How you been, buddy?
What's up, buddy?
Where are you at?
I am in College Station, living in the travel trailer, living the dream.
Living the dream. Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad you're back. Everybody's always wondering, did you fire Case? Where is Case? Is he gone? I'm like, no.
As long as we have Wi-Fi, if the Wi-Fi holds out in the trailer park tonight, we're going to be all right tonight. So we had to do some finagling. Weren't able to join you last week. Sorry, buddy. But I'm watching the bars. If the Wi-Fi stays up at the trailer park, we'll be good to go tonight. I did not get kicked out of my house, by the way. I'm up here just working. So.
Yes, you are. No, I appreciate that. Last week we gave away some Cosmos cherry apple habanero to Corby Simpkins. He had the best comment of the night. I already posed the question in the comments. I'll read some of these comments here in a minute. But best question for Ernest, and I'm gonna let Ernest choose what he thinks is the best question of the night to him. We'll get some Texas Oil Dust Zesty Garlic. This is his new product out. I will send you some Texas Oil Dust Zesty garlic. Well, Case, before we get to Ernest, because I'm going to get him in just a minute. I see him in the green room already, which is awesome. Mercifully, the Texan season ended. Are you okay with that? Are you happy? How do you feel about all that?
We fought to the very end, and I was there, unlike you. Quitter.
Unlike me. All right, Wes, 10K in the YouTube. That's putting us at 60K total. What's up, Hector, Daddy Dutch? I appreciate you guys. Square.
Yeah, I can tell you on the Texans game, it's a lot of wide open spaces in the tailgate lot at 8 o'clock in the morning. You wouldn't know that, though.
I would not.
That's only I would know.
Yeah.
But hats off to all the true fans that grinded out this amazing season. Now, we actually really do talk Texans, and I think there was some good signs. I think we understood we weren't going to be very good, but as soon as the Cowboys lose this week, life will be good, and things will be back to normal.
Wes says, I'm sure Case is upset, but Chin Bill didn't get a national championship ring last night.
Billy O. So close. I was cheering for all the people who needed free mattresses.
All right, we're going to do a quick sponsor spot here in just a second, and then bring Ernest right on, guys. So, again, posing the question, best question for Ernest will win that Texas Oil Dust Zesty Garlic, and I'm going to let Ernest decide what was the best question posed to him. And, Case, you're not able to keep up, are you?
No, I am.
Oh, you are? Okay, cool. Well, then if you see a question that I did not pose or see, we'll see. All right. Let's do a quick sponsor spot, and then we'll get right to Mr. Ernest Servantes. Shout out to our great sponsors, Rec Tech, Cosmos Q Products, Texas Pepper Jelly, Briscoe Ranch Cook-Off at the Crossroads, LC Barbecue, Rick's RV Rentals and Repairs, Eureka Heights Brew Company, Chicken Fried Barbecue Grind, Jay Harding and Company, Texas Oil Dust, Bullprint Wraps and Graphics, and the Barbecue Store in Hempstead. Thank you for supporting the Stove Smoking Gooder. All right, yes, thank you, sponsors, for supporting the. Oh, look, I got to undo this one already. Making a mistake already. Outside, I'm going to ask Ernest about our boy David too. All right. Well, there was a sneak peek of Ernest right there. So let's bring him on. Let's get the man of the hour. You guys know him from the Burnt Bean Company. He's killing it in Texas barbecue. He was killing it in the competition scene, but he started his restaurant within the past year, a little over a year now. So let's talk to him. Let's bring him back on and get him back on. What's up, Ernest? How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you coming on to our show. Every time I ask you, you're awesome about doing that. And I was saying that you might be our guest that we've had the most times on the So Smoking Gooder show. We started this thing in 2017, and back then in 2017, you did something for us. I don't know if you remember, but let's see here. I gotta show a little picture here. That's us in Uvalde in 2017. That was the year that it snowed. That's all three of us up there on stage. So it's been that long, and I appreciate you coming on. Every time I ask you to do something like this, you're more than kind to do that. So I appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Oh, thanks, man, and thanks for moving it the day ahead instead of tomorrow. So when you asked me, I was like, I got to go to sleep. I have hours starting tomorrow, and so I was like, I want to do the show, but it's got to be today or nothing at all. So thanks for putting me on the show, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Case, you want to start something off for us?
Yeah, you act like you have this regular job now that you have to get up and do during the week. I thought it was pretty quiet. Shouldn't it be meat prep Wednesday for competition? Oh, wait, you have this whole restaurant thing that you might just be smashing it in right now.
Yeah, it's not. I always say is I finally get to do what I love to do, and the difference between a job and what I get to do is when you have a job, you have to go to work, and you have to work long hours, or you have to work on the weekends. I'm blessed to do what I love, so I get to do what I want to do, and I get to go to work. and I get to serve some of the best barbecue in the world, as I say. So every day's a blessing. I really have been very fortunate enough to work and have my dream come true, which is to have my barbecue joint. So it's been a blessing since day one.
When was day
we are
one?
talking.
Oh,
We're watching these comments flying in tonight. Keep them coming. We're going to ask. It's an interactive show tonight on Facebook. One of the first questions right away, though. Do you wake up and how bad do you miss Clay? Clay, right? One. How bad do you miss that competition side?
I don't. I don't. I talk to, even though I'm not in the barbecue scene, all my good friends are still competition guys. So I talk to Salty and Carlo and Fred and Roddy and EJ and all those guys every day, and they keep me what's going on with CBA and IBCA and everything else. And the only difference is that I can tell I've really been out of the game for it's going to be 3 years. I cooked about 2 years ago. I checked out the last year I ever did it. I think I was just going through the motions because I was still sponsored by so many great sponsors. I was just going through the motion, but I was already, focused on opening a restaurant and, I had a game plan. So I don't miss it. I guess the reason why is because I did everything I wanted to do and there was nothing left for me to prove. I had nothing else to prove. I had nothing else, anything. The last year was pretty much just to hang out with my friends and have fun. And that's it.
When was that you're done with competition barbecue moment? Do you remember that, or when you were just?
Oh yeah, it was the Uvalde cook-off. I guess probably y'all's. What was that, 3 years ago?
That was 17, so probably the year after that. But I think you won it. 18. You won it in 18, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't think I won it. I think I got up there, but yeah, 3 years ago, this is when I checked out. I was like, I wasn't feeling it, and not only that, I had the opportunity to start doing pop-ups and things like that. So that's where my primary focus was. I've always been one of those kind of guys that once I get interested in something, I go all in. Mm-hmm. I give it all my effort, and that's what I did with competition barbecue. And I did that for 10 years. And I had certain goals I set. I set them, and I did everything I wanted to do. So it was on to the next challenge, which was the realm of what I feel more comfortable with, which is restaurant industry, because that's what I am. I'm a chef at trade, and I've always wanted to open up my own restaurant, and why not throw barbecue on there? So I said, if I'm going to open a barbecue joint, it's going to be the best barbecue joint in Texas. So that we aim for that. And I don't think other than two other guys that do it, which is, who was it? The Mikes and Robert Smith have, barbecue joints that have come from the competition world. Yeah. I think the Jambo had a restaurant for a little bit, and then I guess he sold it or whatever. But I want to be one of the first guys to hit the top 50. That was, I kind of consider myself, the actor that became a singer, or the singer that became the actor, or the Tejano star that went into country. Either you
Emilio.
Yeah, so I wanted to be that one that did the crossover, as they say.
Yeah,
and try my very best to be the best or one of the best in Texas, not necessarily in competition world, but in all the restaurant world and barbecue, because it's fucking hard, dude. You know what I mean? And to grind, I always laugh because now thinking about it, when I used to prep, I'm like, man, I got to prep 3 ribs or 2 slabs of ribs and a brisket and 2 whole fucking chickens. Oh my God, I got so much prep to do. I'm like, damn, dude, I wish I could still do that. Prepping, 40, 50 briskets for the next day, I don't know, 40 slabs of ribs for the next day, and starting your day at 1:30 in the morning, and sometimes you don't finish till 10 o'clock at night, and then you get up and do it right all over again.
Your boy Honda.
Friday's the last time I sleep, and I work all the way through on Saturday, because once 10 o'clock comes around, my shift starts for the next day. I'm really blessed that now we kind of got like some sort of a routine that I can actually take a couple of hour naps, as I call it, and then go back at it. But it's like I told people, how bad do you want it? Do you want it, just say, hey, look at me, I got a restaurant, or hey, look at me, I want to be the baddest motherfucker out there? And that's one of the things that's how my attitude was. And not only that, I think I had more pressure than a lot of people did when they opened barbecue joints, because I come from the world of competition barbecue. So all my brothers from the barbecue world are going to go to my restaurant. And I believe the competition cooks are some of the biggest barbecue snobs in the world, because not only do they know barbecue, but they got that chip on their shoulder. They're like, my brisket's better or my ribs are better. So you have that pressure of, you have to deliver every single day, and every single day you're going to have someone new that goes in there. A lot of support from my barbecue brothers and sisters, and that was huge. Excuse me, because they wanted to support me. All of y'all have gone to my place, and if y'all came back, I knew y'all liked it. So and that's the difference. Everybody's gonna go support you once, but if it's good, they'll come more than once. And I've had everybody come more than once, and that's just a blessing, as well as that's just it makes my heart feel good that y'all got that much support for me, that I'm more of a pit stop, and y'all can come going through to Seguin. You're like, hey, let's just stop at Ernest's place and get some grub and then move on. But yeah, it's been a blessing. I love it. It's just started for me. I've only done this for a year and a half, and we've come so far in a year and a half. And it's like I tell everybody, we're just getting started. Us being on that top 4 in Texas Monthly was unreal, but that's not what I want to be known for.
Right.
Speaking of just started, Greg in Oklahoma City, Mr. Boomer Sooner himself, asked if there's anything that that you wish you would have known a year ago that you know today.
In the restaurant industry?
Yeah, just before you decided to go full-fledged, if there's anything that you wish somebody would have told you a year ago that you now know today, is there one or two things that jump out at you that you wish somebody said?
Just beef prices keep on going up, man, and that's killing us. And that's the one thing that's really hurting a lot. All these people I see, I'm in so many barbecue groups, and they complain about how barbecue joints are charging so much money, but they don't understand what it takes to produce a brisket. That's not our high. We don't make any money off brisket, and I'll tell you that right now. So it's one of those type of things, and right now we're just hoping, and we're just holding on for this ugly ride until hopefully they say maybe in a couple of months that it'll go back down, but they've been saying that since May.
That is my smoke detector that keeps beeping. I'm gonna get that.
No, that's mine.
Is it? Oh, is it? We got dueling smoke detectors in here.
Yeah, well, we had a power outage, and now they're just going nuts.
Okay, I couldn't tell. I keep hearing it in my headphones. And
yeah,
I'm like, I just set my wife on a wild goose chase.
Can we block commenters? There was one question: if you had to pick a profession other than a barbecue restaurant owner, what would it be, and why would it be Case's replacement? What the hell is this?
He ain't got time for that. No, so I was gonna ask you your and you went kind of right over it, but your week is all about barbecue. Now you guys are you and David Kirkland. I was gonna mention him as well. Leading up to the restaurant, how did that form, you and David? And that spot you have it looks like it was made for you, man. It's perfect. I love going in there, the vibe, the whole feeling in there. You got the line obviously outside, which is awesome, but just walking in, and it just kind of keeps going straight to the back, and you get that pit room. And if you guys haven't been there, go check it out in Seguin. But it's got the pit room in the back. You have that little, that bar area is still there, and you have a banquet room. It's really cool, and it looked like that was just a perfect fit for you guys.
Yeah, Dave and I don't know how it came about, but I wanted to start doing pop-ups, and that was a bar owned by Freddie. And Freddie has a lot of people don't know who Freddie is. He's the third man in our arsenal. He's just a really good friend that owned that building, and he let us do pop-ups there. And I was telling Dave, man, it was more of a bar atmosphere. Everything that you see there is different than what it was before, but it just had a vibe. And I was like, dude, this would be a killer barbecue joint. And he would let us sell barbecue there. And, I started doing pop-ups, and Dave wanted to come in with me. He's like, look, I want to help. I want to learn how to do barbecue. And, I sold one of my rigs to buy that 500-gallon smoker from Leonard from Truth Barbecue. And we learned how to cook, Texas style barbecue. And it's funny because Dave and I went to go pick it up, and we're like, holy shit, this is a big pit. It was a 500-gallon. And we were like, man, I can't believe, we're so used to small pits just cooking one brisket. And we're like, oh my God, we got 10 in here. What do we do? Or we got 15 slabs of ribs. And it was learning how to, cook different. It goes from hot and fast to really low and slow, literally. And, we just learned together. We talk about the times where, we didn't have a cover over that pit. And I remember one time we got 2 inches of rain in like 45 minutes in the middle of the night. And we were in the dually of mine, and we're just chilling out there and hoping, that how far back we would be pushed behind because of the rain. But, we've been snowed on, we've been rained on, 105-degree temperatures. We've gone through all the elements to produce what we had. And right when we wanted to, we were on full momentum. We had lines at our pop-ups. We were starting to get like a little cult following. COVID happened, and that really kicked us in the nuts. And I really regressed into literally a depression because I was still working at the time, but my future really got clouded because it's like, shit, now what? We're dealing with something that happens every 100 years as a pandemic, and we didn't know where we were going to go. And we saw so many restaurants just dropping like flies and closing down. And same thing with the bar closed down because, people weren't allowed to go to bars. So it was very distraught and very stressful. But that happened in March, I think, right? They shut everything down in March 2020.
Yeah, March 2020.
And then May came around, and we got the idea of let's do underground, because we were talking to our friends from other places, like, what are we going to do about financing? And so we started doing undergrounds where we put it out there, packages, brisket packages or whatever. So it worked out, and it was probably the biggest blessing because we got to really hone in our skills better as with briskets, and then with our barbacoa and our ribs and everything. So that's what we did, and we ended up becoming really, really popular with the community and everything, because everything was ordered online, you paid online, and you just picked it up. You didn't even get out of your car. So Dave and I got really strong doing that. And when they started going to, I guess it kind of went down, and they allowed 50% people in. And by then the bar closed down, and we asked them if we can open, the barbecue joint there. He's like, yeah. So the whole time everything was closed, we were going behind the scenes quietly, not telling anybody. I didn't tell anybody what we were doing, and we're setting it up, putting, things in there that we needed to set up to open a barbecue joint, bringing in 1,000-gallon pits, setting them up and practicing. And once it hit 75, we're going to open on the weekends every day. And I quit my job, and then it was like, it's full steam ahead. And, the rest is history. But what we did with the adversity that we did of a pandemic and the way the restaurant industry is right now, and to be successful as we are, is a huge blessing. And we thank God for everything we've had.
Walk us through. I know, thanks for, why we need to be on here tonight, but can you walk us through what's a day look like? I mean, when does that alarm go off? Because one of the things are you still actively involved in the actual pit master? Because you have to be the face of the restaurant while it's open.
Mm-hmm.
But, a lot of people don't realize, the barbecuing starts obviously way early in the morning or throughout the night. Right. Sometimes it's very tough to be a face, but also be the pit master at the same time. That makes for a long day. So walk us through a day, just for everybody that wakes up and goes, you know what, I can do what Ernest does.
Right.
Walk them through a day, and while we're all together on a Tuesday night.
So my day starts off at 1:30 in the morning, 2:00. The alarm goes off. Get in the shower. I get to work by 3 in the morning. Start the pits up at 3. Get all the meats, the ribs, the turkeys, and all that stuff. Put them on at 4. Go back inside. Start prepping briskets for the next day. Start prepping ribs. 6:00 comes around. We put our we have a certain time we put in. I won't tell you what time we put in our briskets. We put in our briskets on. Dave gets there about 7. And when at 6 o'clock comes around, I'm cooking pasta. I'm cooking beans for the day. Dave gets there at 7. He takes over outside. So I won't have to be going back and forth. I continue to prep for the day. So after I season up all my meats, then we start working on sides and things like that. Dave works in the pit room, working on ribs, taking care of the briskets the whole time through. The crew gets there at 8. They start prepping for the next day. We start getting everything ready for the day. 9 comes around. My GM's by now. We talk about caterings for the day, to-goes for the day. We have a lineup for the day. My whole team gets there at 9:30. We have team meetings. We tell everybody what's going on. We get all things planned out. 10 o'clock comes around. By then, Dave's starting to pull out food. We have pretty much all the sides ready to go. We make sure everything's fine detail. I got to take care of phone calls. I will. 10:30. By then we have a line out the door. And I'll take like a little 15-minute break, just to relax a little bit because I've been going since 3. So by 11 o'clock, I've already been at work for 8 hours. So, and then I get all my stuff going and start cutting. Once the doors open, we don't stop till we close. Once we finish serving the chaotic lines, we clean up, they clean up. From then on, I go outside and relax a little bit. Then I go back inside, see what we need to take care of, and prep if we need to get it going. I try to get out there my best around 4 or 5. Sometimes I stay there till 8. And then if we have caterings at night, because our venue turns into a catering venue too, so if we have caterings at 6, 7 o'clock at night, I stay there till then, maybe 8 o'clock. And then once I finish serving, my team closes while I go home. So I've been there 17 hours. And then I go to sleep and wake up at 1 o'clock. So I usually get about 4 hours of sleep and do it all over again. And then on Friday, I wake up. Friday's my big day. Friday, I get there in the morning, do the same routine. But when Saturday morning, and I don't go to bed till I come home on Sunday. Saturday is my brutal day because we have breakfast in the morning. So we pull, 19-hour, 20-hour days in 4 days. And then that doesn't count. We work on Tuesday, like today, we did sausage. So we prepped, we grind, cure, plume our sausage. We start smoking it tomorrow. Tomorrow's we start prepping and everything. So tomorrow will be another 10-hour day. So, an average about 100 to 110-hour days a week.
Does it get to the point, one of the things, and I'm glad you mentioned sides, because I think a lot of people don't realize, I think a lot of us talk about, we know how good your barbecue is, but man, your sides there's just as much love, that goes into these sides. And so, barbecue is one of it, but yeah, to your point, man, your sides are just knocking out of the park. And then the creativity, new dishes that you're always trying.
Right.
It's wild though. And it's kind of, growing up around a burger joint, in and out of a burger joint, we just don't put that kind of time in at the Dairy Cone. We grind meat at like 8 in the morning. We're sleeping. And so,
right.
And it's a grind in the barbecue world. It's almost wild to hear it. I think I know it, but just hearing you walk through the process and the hours, it's wild, man. It's a hell of a grind, and hats off to you.
And everything's from scratch. We make our sausage in-house. We make our desserts in-house. Everything's in-house. And the reason why is that's what separates the good barbecue joints to the great barbecue joints. And that's what separates you. How bad do you want it? I have that. I came in with a competition mentality. How can you stick out? How can you make yourself better than everybody else? And then because there's a lot of great places out there. You look at the top 10 that's out there. They're phenomenal barbecue joints. You got Issa Wool too at 2M. He's a hell of a cooker too. There's so many great friends, and it's cool too that we all got the mutual respect towards each other. We're always there to willing to help each other out, and that's what it is. But I tell people that I've told this to everybody, and that's because I'm a chef, so I was so used to the long hours. You don't do it because you want to get famous. You don't do it because you want to get rich. You do it because you love it. And I want to create a legacy as being one of the few guys that did phenomenal in competition and then came over to the restaurant industry and did it. And you tell me how many people have done that. You know what I mean? Tell me, there's been some guys that like, I did a little bit of competition, but then I became successful in this. No, who has done it where you were actually very successful and made a name for yourself in the competition world and then did it on the restaurant world? Not that many. You know, I wanted to be the first. I've always tried to be the first and a pioneer to inspire, because at the end of the day, that's what I do in life is I inspire. I want people to say, if Ernest can do it, I can do it too, because everybody has a dream. There's a lot of competition guys that have dreams, and they have dreams and aspirations like, man, my dream is to one day open a barbecue joint. Hey, it's there if you want it. It's there if you really want it, but you're going to have to put in the time. You're going to have to grind it out, and nothing in this world is free and nothing in this world is easy. And that's what I tell people. It's like, I didn't come from money. I didn't come from any of that stuff. I started off, we were looking at some pictures the other day of my daughter, and in the background, you see a little barrel pit and a Weber. And it's fucking insane that's how I started. And look what I ended up 10 years later. I had a fleet of rigs, you know, but you got to start somewhere. Same thing with the restaurant industry. You got to start somewhere. And but you have to grind it out. People think it's like overnight success, and it's not. You know, I've been fortunate that I did it. It took me I tell people that but you became so successful in the first year you were open. I said, yeah, but I put 13 fucking years of marketing my brand, marketing myself, people knowing who I was. So when I did open my barbecue joint, there was a buzz going on. There was people looking forward to trying my food because they were curious. Absolutely. Well, guess what? Then they tried it and they were like, well, okay, this is pretty good and legit. So that's when it just started spreading the word. And the word of the year for the burnt bean in 2021 was the word hype. It's worth the hype. It's hype. You know what I mean? And I don't like that word, but whatever, it is what it is. But people don't understand that we put a lot of time and effort. Dave and I have now with Anthony, we're grinding it out every day. And the key to becoming successful is being consistent and evolving. And that's what I tell people. And people don't understand that competition barbecue was the same way. The times of the Ronnie Wades and all those guys when we started, compared to the nows where you got Fred and you got Aaron Leslie and you got Moreno and you got Lucky Charms and you got Bill Purvis and you got those cats. Look at what they're using. Back in the day, it was like on a good cook-off, they would use primes. Now at a good cook-off, what are you using? What are you injecting with? What are you doing that? It's different compared to what it was. The same thing with restaurant barbecue. You think of Lockhart and you think of the Lulings and you think of all those small town barbecue joints that just threw salt, untrimmed, just threw it on the pit, cut it, and that was barbecue. And that was. Look at the size where they have beans that didn't have any, I needed some salt and it was just broth. Potato salad, you were lucky if it was seasoned. And what else? Coleslaw, that was it, right?
Green beans.
Now you go to the bar, you go to these places and they call it craft barbecue, but it's evolved. It's like, how are you going to stick out? How much care and thought are you going to put in the process of barbecue? And now how the way we trim our briskets and the quality grades we use and the size that separates us from everybody else, because just as much as you got to have a thing that separates you in competition world, that's the philosophy I had. How can I separate myself from everybody else that doesn't look like burnt beans copying everybody else and following the mold? We always went against the grain. Burnt bean has always been like that. And that's what we're evolving. They're like, dude, you come into this place, you come to my restaurant, I want you to experience. I want you to leave and say, holy fucking shit, what happened? You walk into our place, you hear the music, you see the building, and you're like, okay, you smell the barbecue. And then you eat the barbecue and you eat my sides and you're like, holy crap. And then you go to desserts and it's like, it just goes from eating good food to having an experience. I want you to have that Pink Floyd licking a toad or LSD trip and be like, dude, this dude knows what the fuck he's doing. And that's what we're doing at the Burnt Bean Company.
When you talk about the Lockharts of the world, when the whole family made the trip up there, we were actually camping in New Braunfels. And the first thing that I noticed, and I hadn't been to New Braunfels in a while, but all of a sudden New Braunfels turned into this little mini Lockhart. You drive past the Coopers and the Rudies and the Blacks and all these that are right down the road. And it's, do you wake up and strive to be like those? Or are you what's the plan for Burnt Bean? Is it going to be, man, this is my spot in Seguin, or do you see a moment, or if we come back 5 years from now and we go, well, We finally got a burnt bean in next to Rob's house in Cypress, Texas, so we don't have to drive to Seguin anymore.
No, burnt bean is only going to be one place, and we might think about franchising it out in small little like food trucks or something like that. But at the end of the day, burnt bean is burnt bean, and there'll always just be one burnt bean. Like there's only one Graceland, and there's only one, Kreitz and stuff like that. We just focus on making an experience because Dave and I talked about, how much do you want to grow, but at the same time, don't get diluted. You understand what I'm saying? People call us and they're like, hey, dude, it's like my dad tells me, in Uvalde, where I'm from, like people plan this fucking trip months in advance, like going to Disneyland or Disney World, because they know that it's going to be an experience. And we don't want to dilute that by putting 200 tables in there and, having all that, it doesn't feel it, it's small and quaint. It's really cool. The thought is it's only open Thursday through Sunday. You have to get there early, because if you don't, they run out. And that's the way it should be. If you see all the great places in the world, that's how it is. Franklin's, you go to Cat's Deli, you go to all these other crazy places. They even make cheesecakes and stuff. They only make a certain amount. And the reason why they only make a certain amount is because that's a certain amount that they can make quality without going too commercial.
Yeah. So you talked about this real quick, but all the hype leading up to, most people, they open up a restaurant and then it's word of mouth, right? It's word of mouth. And then you're like, have you tried this place? They're really good. Blah, blah, blah. You opened up to where everybody was expecting you to just kill it. And you've met and exceeded those expectations, I feel. And I'm sitting with, talking about the Texas Monthly deal being in top 4. That's gotta be awesome for year 1 for you. But what were your goals going into it? Obviously, I don't know. Did you exceed them yet for year 1? And what's going into year 2 now that you've got this first year under your belt? And you talked about opening up during COVID, man. That was so challenging.
Year one, honestly, year 1 was to survive. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, surviving. COVID. We didn't know if we were going to get shut down again. I remember everything we made. Our first couple of months, we were like excited because, we had a budget and we were exceeding budgets. And then we could, it's funny because everything we bought was used, like everything, the only thing new that we got was cutting boards, but everything else from pans, pots, equipment was used because that's all we could afford. And I remember the time where me and Dave were excited to go pick up a new food warmer. You know what I mean? It was like, holy shit, we have enough money to go buy a food warmer. Or, hey, we got more, trays and things like that. Because I sold everything I owned to open it. I'll tell you right now, I sold everything I owned. Everything, I pretty much did the same philosophy as I did when I did Competition World, is that I sold everything I owned that I cherished, all my trailers, my rigs, cashed in anything I had in investments and savings, and put it all in that place and hold my breath. And the only way I could do it was to produce good barbecue. And Dave and I did that. And as the time went on, our goal was to at least, we knew that we would barely make it the Texas Monthly because of how long we've been open. You had to be open a year. That was a rule. So we knew we just got in, and our goal was just to hit top 50 because we didn't know where we would be because 2 reasons. One, it was our first year, but we just wanted to be in top 50 because our primary goal was in 4 years, we wanted to be top 5. So,
do you remember him coming in the restaurant? Did you know he was
there?
I
remember. What's funny is that we heard he was in the area, and so we knew we had a chance that he was like, oh shit, because he only comes to this area once in a while. So we're like, we heard from the grapevine, hey dude, he's in Austin. We're like, oh shit, and we're like, dude, he's in San Marcos, and we're like, oh shit, he's gonna be here today. And then he was in San Antonio. And we're like, oh hell, maybe he's not looking at us, because we knew this was the time he was checking out the top 50. If you were going to make top 50, so he didn't show up on Saturday.
Sounds like a weather storm. He's in San Antonio. He's over here.
Yeah, and it was because it's funny how all his barbecue restaurant guys talk to each other, and we're texting like Pinkertons or Issa Wool, or the guys from San Antonio, or even Bandit or Southside Barbecue. They're like, dude, he's here right now, or he's here. I'm like, he missed us. You know what I mean? He totally missed us. And then I sat down and thought, I'm like, he's going to come Sunday because of our breakfast. he's heard about our breakfast. Sure enough, I warned my team. I was like, all right. And I had a picture of him. This is what he fucking looks like. You're going to see him, and this is what he's going to look like, and I'd cover his face. This is what he looks like with a mask on. You know what I mean? I said, see the difference. See the difference. You know what I mean? I was like, you see the difference? They're like, all right. So we had our cashier there, and they kind of had a picture of him. And then it was me cutting, and then my servers anyways. And so he didn't show up in the morning. So I was like, all right, cool. And I had to go talk to Dave, and I was talking to Dave outside. And my wife comes outside, and she's like, he's fucking here. I'm like, what? She's like, he's here. I'm like, Daniel? He goes, yeah, he's in Sabrina's section. And he ordered a huevos rancheros, and I told no one to touch them. That's why I'm telling you, go make them. So by then, they already made him his tacos and everything. I'm like, fuck. And I looked at it, and my daughter's an amazing person, and I think she's going to be a chef, but that's just probably dad. But the tacos look perfect. So he took that, and I come in, and he's like, hey, Ernest. I was like, Buck Fever's like, hey, how's it going? I was scared. And I calmed down and made him the huevos rancheros. And he went outside, and I told Dave, I was like, dude, don't fucking talk to him. Don't go and kiss his ass or anything. Just leave him alone. And he was with another guy, and they ate. And, he started talking to Dave, and I was like, fuck. So I was just worried. I didn't want to be like too much of an ass kisser, but we were kind of curious.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he goes, hey, what time are you going to serve lunch? And I said, we start serving lunch about 10:30, 10:45. He goes, all right. He goes, I'm going to see if I can come back. I said, okay. And I said, how was breakfast? He goes, it was really good. And he looked at me and smiled. And I was like, okay, cool. So then when he left, we like all just lost our shit. We're like, all right, he's coming in here at this time, and we got to be ready for him. And I'm over here looking for the best briskets. And it was just, and right at 10:45, there was a line out the door, and he was in line. And I'm like, son of a bitch, he's coming back for seconds. So he came and ordered the menu for lunch, and he was very impressed. And by then, he started talking to Dave, kind of taking pictures, and he really dug everything. And then but I was cut, when I'm cutting, I can't really, and that's the one thing that I think a lot of my friends while I'm on this thing got to realize is that I can't just get off the line and talk to y'all. Right. I got to be cutting. And now I got a guy helping me out, but it's getting a little bit better. But anyways, he was impressed, and he said, I might give you a call during the week. I'm like, all right, cool. And then he wrote that article about us that we're the first restaurant ever since he's ever done this, that right off the bat, we were flawless. He's never seen a restaurant like that. And I had so many barbecue joints telling me, dude, we have never heard him talk like that. And we, me and Dave, I get emotional and I cried. And it was such a big deal for us because he's the one that makes and breaks you, kind of like that show Ratatouille, with that food critic. It was one of those type of moments, and we were very blessed. And he came in there and gave a great article. And then after that, he came back a couple of more times, but that was after right before the list was coming out. But by then, we were so comfortable in our skin that we didn't care. Yeah, I was like, bring it on, and that's when he's like, I didn't, and he wrote another article. I didn't think y'all can get any better than y'all did. And that's what it's all about, is that I want you to come in there and be like, dude, it's always fucking good here. And that's what we're trying to do.
Is there a Texas Monthly bump that you can tell once that magazine hit newsstands? We know it. We know you. We see you. We see the pictures, and we've got to get there. But can you tell a bump in the business when that magazine came out?
Yeah, well, we already had lines. And that's what I tell a lot of people. They always ask, could you tell the difference? And the only way we could tell the difference is the lines stayed longer, a little bit longer. I don't know if that makes any sense. Usually by like 1:32, it kind of dies down. They were still on till, literally 3:00 where we had to cut it off. But, what you want to know, what really blew us up? Texas Bucket List. That show.
Yeah, I've seen that show. Yeah.
That show blew us up. We had people I remember that, and it was a combination of that and Texas Monthly, when on a Thursday we had a line like 2 blocks long, and we're like, holy shit, dude, and now that's how our lines are all the time, but yeah, me and Dave were like pretty pumped. when we saw that. So we've been pretty blessed to have a lot of exposure for such a short time.
No, that's a great story. Hearing all the back, you guys prepping for him, and when
the COVID thing cracked me up because this is what he looks like with a mask, because it was a different world back then. I remember when there was a family, we're all masked up, and you saw my dad's Dairy Cone hat, and you're like, "Did I dig that hat?" And I'm like, "I hope you did." And you're like, "Oh shit, you don't know anybody because everybody's faces are covered."
You don't, and a lot of people are like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't know you unless you take off your mask." So it was one of those type of things. But it's been a hell of a ride, and the funny part is that we have so much in store that we haven't even started, and dishes and cuisines, and the way we're rolling out soups right now and things, because at the end of the day, it's okay. Now we got everybody's attention. Now let's keep them entertained, because if you just keep the run of the mill, a lot of these barbecue joints their attitude right now is, "Oh, we hit top 50, let's chill out. We're good for the next 4 years until it's kind of come around." No, this is when you kick it in the gear and say, "Hey, look, 4 was cool, but I want to be on the top."
Hell yeah.
That's my attitude. Is Dave and I are not happy until we are number one. That's the bottom line.
I got a question from Yui. He says, last year you hosted the IBCA annual meeting and banquet. The venue was awesome. At lunch, you served about 50 or so comp cooks parading through the restaurant, getting their fix, including myself, and dissecting your barbecue. What were you thinking serving everybody?
I don't think anything, you can't compare competition barbecue to what we do. I know that what Dave and I produce is a damn good product. And I can tell you by just looking at it, we do, in the morning, we'll test the brisket. We'll do everything. We do line checks. We test everything out. I taste everything to make sure everything's flawless. And that's the chef in me. I don't get intimidated by anybody else anymore. We've had some famous people in there. I don't get nervous. I do get nervous when I have other really high profile chefs that go in there. Not barbecue guys. I've had Tuffy Stone in there. I've had Big Mo in there. I've had a lot of big hitters in there. And it's an honor. I feel more privileged and think of it more of an honor that they come to my place. But when I do have famous chefs that go in there, I get very intimidated, because then that's the chef in me, because those guys are going to dissect my skills as a culinarian. And that's where it is, because I know I can take care of y'all when it comes to the barbecue part, but the sides and everything else, the way it flows, the way it tastes, is when they're going to really micro critique me.
Your mise en place.
Yeah, a mise en place.
You've told us before, but a lot of new people watching tonight. Burnt Bean, the name, where'd it come from?
I guess long story short, I always say long story short. I asked for a weekend off at my other restaurant way back in the day. And it's very rare when one of the head chefs asks for a weekend off, unless it's for a weekend of a wedding or a funeral. And one of the ladies from Mexico, she's like, "Hey, what are you going to be doing?" I'm like, "Well, my neighbor entered me in a thing called a cook-off," and she's like, "What are you going to be cooking?" I said, "Brisket, ribs, chicken, and beans." And she's like, "Pinche gordo, vas a quemar los frijoles." And she's like saying, I said, "I don't even know how to cook beans," and she's like, "You're probably going to burn them." And I like the word frijoles quemados. And we wrote that out, and you're going to get butchered. So we put burnt bean, and then we put company at the end, and the rest is history. So it's funny because when we were opening up a restaurant, we had a bunch of salesmen come in there trying to sell us coffee because they thought we were a coffee joint.
You added company. So every time that we've all known you, it's always been Burnt Bean Company. Was this always a goal of yours down the line? Did you always have
Actually, it was actually my goal was to be called the Burnt Bean Cafe. That's what it was supposed to be called.
Well,
there might be one.
Now that's a coffee shop right there, bro.
Yeah, the Burnt Bean Cafe. I wanted to call.
And I know this because we've talked about it a year ago, but walk us through Seguin as a town and what it means to you. You've told me this before on the location. Anybody could be out there on I-10 where everybody's flying through, but you picked that across the street from the world's biggest pecan. Am I right? We toured Seguin in downtown Seguin. But walk us through what it means for you. I know Uvalde's home, but what it means for you for that location, not only interstate with everybody else out there, but to be in downtown Seguin. You've told us before, but for somebody that listens, I think it's one of the coolest things about your restaurant.
Yeah, Seguin, other than Uvalde, I think the biggest support I've ever had was from Seguin. So it was only, everybody asks why Seguin, and I tell everybody all the time, why not? Seguin has always been there for us, and we've been blessed. And Dave's from Seguin, and I worked there for 15 years, so it was a no-brainer. We wanted to bring something special to Seguin that we thought we could be successful. Actually, if Dave was on here, he'd be giving me shit right now because I did not want to open Seguin in the first place, the Burnt Bean. I thought that we should be more into like New Braunfels. I just thought that, but since it was, Dave's like, dude, if the food's good, anybody's going to come and support us. And I ate crow and I admitted that he was right and I was wrong. But Seguin has supported us through and through. The city has, and we're bringing so many people into Seguin that have never gone through Seguin in their lives because everybody thinks of Seguin as I can, pee, stop, or going to the Whataburger, or stopping at a thing, getting some corn nuts. For them to go inside Seguin and seeing how beautiful the town is, and people are like, man, it's beautiful down here, and it is. And now we're considered one of Seguin's beautiful gems. And one day I'm going to get a spray paint can and go paint that pecan black so it looks like a burnt bean.
Is this true, Robbie Kirkland? Ernest, you were voted number 2 celebrity in Seguin.
Yeah. Okay. So Seguin came out with the best results.
Like behind Juan Seguin? Who are you? Who's more famous in Seguin? What's going on here?
I don't know. Ask what it's supposedly. She's a nice old sweet lady. 80-year-old. She's actually a Hollywood star. Oh. So she was born and raised. She was in a bunch of movies back in the day. Dotsy something. And she's Seguin, so she's like the most famous person from Seguin. And I came in second, which is fine with me. But what matters is that we got voted. We got nominated for 6 categories this year, and the best of the best of Seguin, and we won all 6. So that's where it's at.
Awesome. One of my last questions for you is: you recently got back that Pitmaker vault. What did that mean to you?
Man, that's my baby, and it brings back so many memories. And it's funny because that is like our, you go to Buc-ee's and you have that damn beaver in the front.
Yeah,
that's the same thing. That's like our beaver. Because so many people have seen it on Pitmasters and they've seen it on so many shows that I was with on Myron's and all that. They're like, this is the pit. And they take pictures, in front of it. And I've been tagged so many times. So it's one of those landmark, statue type of things that people take pictures with. And that brings back so many memories of how successful of a pit I had. That thing I won easily a lot. The most successful I was on that pit.
That's classic. I mean, you helped Pitmaker was, I guess they were starting out at the time, 2012, and you putting that out there. And I remember you had the General Lee on that first Pitmasters show.
Yeah, and the reason, I don't know if you know the real story about that, is that I just won the show, and Pitmaker was making my pit, and they didn't have the trailer yet, so I didn't have, and then they asked me to be on the show, and I had nothing to cook on. So they're like, hey, take the Lee. And I went and picked it up. And literally that same day we ended up at the, filming. So I never even cooked on a Pitmaker before in my life. On that show was the first time.
That's you kind of, I mean, you helped put them on the map. That's for damn sure. And because there for a while, that's all you saw. It was Pitmaker trailers. It was crazy. So that was a big part of their growth. That's pretty cool. You guys help each other out there.
Yeah,
for sure. Case, you got anything else? And before I didn't want to keep it too long, but we're about an hour. I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, no, he's gonna have to go to bed at some point. He got an early morning, and it's awesome, man. I see the post, and I kid you not, this is I'm so thrilled with all your success. But my wife saw a picture with the line, and we almost felt like we were cool insiders a little early on before the lines got as long as they did. And she goes, they'll probably never be. We had a line, but not like it has been. She goes, we'll probably have to wake up and get up there earlier than we did last time. I said, yeah.
Oh, your boy. I mentioned it. There was Case doesn't know. Maybe Case you do know. There's a Casanova plate there, bro.
What?
There it is, named after you, buddy. No. But it's good. I had it. It's really good, Ernest. Everything aired. Everything I
Thank
had. The big red tres leches, that thing is, my wife loves that. We stop in there, even but if we can't wait that top line, like we checked in and just got dessert and got out of there. It was awesome. It's awesome.
The only thing that I truly miss when you're not on the comp scene is you're not up and down I-10 through Columbus as much as often. But we'll be okay at the cone.
You need to name one after him.
Will you make that happen?
Get one going. Well, Ernest, anything you want to share or add before we let you get out of here, brother?
No, man, I just want to thank everybody for all the support they've given me. I know that it's kind of cool because I like to see the way evolving of competition cooks are. There's so many great cooks that are winning grand champions and reserves or first place that I have no fucking clue who they are. It's really cool. I'm like, who are these guys? And they're like, oh yeah, it's this guy or it's this guy. And hell, I look at you, Rob, you're starting to do really good too. And I'm like, dang, these guys are doing great. So congratulations to everybody. And I just love to see, I can't believe I'm in my early 40s and I can say I'm an old timer because
you are.
And it's cool, but to see the competition world grow and what Roddy and Fred have done in this past 2 years, and basically, I'm so proud of those guys. What they've done to develop another organization is huge. I love to see everybody grow. I love to see the camaraderie. I like to see the little haterism. I always think that's good for the sport. Where you got. You got all these people from the IBCA not liking CBA, and at the same time, it's great for publicity. It's kind of like Tupac Shakur and Biggie. But it's funny. But at the end of the day, people don't realize that when those people are out of office and all that stuff, y'all become friends again. Because at the end of the day, nothing's worth keeping a grudge at. Because at the end of the day, a barbecue is love, and that's the way it should be. And the Pope has spoken.
Oh, the Pope is out.
He signed off.
I'm out, brother.
Ernest, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys.
Appreciate it, and continued success for sure. And I think I'll see you Thursday morning, by the way. Yeah. All right, bub. We'll see you.
Bye.
Thanks. All right, that was cool, man. That was really cool. It's always awesome having Ernest Servantes on the show, and like I said, I think he's been on the show more than anyone else.
Well, he brought down the Russians in the Pitmaker challenge.
He did. He
not only won the tournament, but he also brought down an entire country, and so that was very unique that time. So,
yes, shout out to Ernest for doing that again. I appreciate that. So, we're gonna take a quick sponsor spot, and then we'll come back and we'll do the wrap up recap because there was a couple of cook-offs last weekend, and then we'll do a preview of what's coming up. All right, one moment. Here we go. We'll be right back. Shout out to our great sponsors, Rec Tech Grills, Eureka Heights Brew Company, Cosmos Q Products, Texas Pepper Jelly, Rick's RV Rental and Repair, Holy Smoke Spice Company, Diamond Shine Cleaning Products, J. Harding and Company, Bull Printing, Wraps and Graphics, and The Barbecue Store. Thank you for supporting the So Smokin' Gooder Show. All righty. That was an old clip, actually. I don't know how that got on there. So the what was it? The smoke detector chirping has stopped. Thank you very much. He did say earlier he had a power surge or something, and that's why his deal is going on. Y'all didn't know. I muted my mic. I don't know if y'all saw. Oh, that was me yelling at my son to find the damn. I was making him run all over the house looking for a damn smoke detector because it sounded like it was right here. And
I'm in the travel trailers. I was looking at mine, so I'm literally I am in the living room / bedroom / so there's I didn't have to run across the house. The whole house is right here. So
stop by and Hutto. Oh, all right, Rocky May. What's up, guys? You guys, sorry, we were really interested in what Ernest was saying. We did read a few of those on there, so we'll look over these, and I will.
I paid attention pretty good. I thought so.
Well, then you got one you want to pick. I was going to let Ernest pick, but it's time to let him go. It's already an hour in. I'll let you sleep on that real quick. But let's do the bull printing wraps and graphics wrap up recap. There was a couple of contests last week. Let's see. The Big Buck Barbecue Bash in Vidor. It was an IBCA event. 35 teams made the trip over to Vidor, Texas. The reserve grand champion was Corbin Stone from the Smoking Donkeys, which I love that team name, by the way. It's a fun name to say. Smoking Donkeys. And then the grand champion was Randall Kendrick from Hideaway Ranch Cookers. I know I've said that man's name on the show quite a bit. He's killing it. Let me stop sharing this screen. There we go. And also in Robstown was another IBCA event, the NCJLS barbecue contest. 41 teams made the trip to Robstown, Texas. Oscar Garcia, OG3 Barbecue, was the reserve grand champion, and Ray Chacon with Lagos Smokers. He was the grand champion. Congratulations to those guys. And we had one CBA event. Let me click on this. And that was cool having Ernest on the show. Event results. Kicking Axes in McAllen, Texas. The reserve grand champion was Uncle Vic's Barbecue. Awesome. Congratulations. In the first place, Natural Born Grillers. All right, guys. Y'all kicking axes over there in McAllen. That's going to be the bull printing wraps and graphics wrap up recap. If you were to cook, I missed one. There it was. That would have been a good question there, Hector. If you're going to cook one more event, what would it be? Probably, I don't know. I won't answer for him.
I guess Uvalde.
I know he did love some Uvalde. And now we're going to do last order of business here. The Briscoe Ranch Barbecue Cook-Off at the Crossroads upcoming event segment. That one is going to be in December 9th and 10th, 2022 in Uvalde, Texas. There you are. Case. There we are. Hello. All right. Hello. Let me take this down, and we are going to showcase the Champions of Barbecue coming up this weekend. Champions of Barbecue Cook-Off and Banquet. It's a $20,000 payout. It's in Eagle Pass, Texas. There is the banquet, which they will be celebrating the top cookers in the Champions Barbecue Alliance. Yours truly will get some I don't know what, but that's going to be fun this weekend in Eagle Pass, Texas. There is still time to get in. It's going to be a big time event. Again, $20,000 payout. All right, Tom, watch it on YouTube. $10,000 payout for the banquet. So that's going to be a fun time out in Eagle Pass, Texas. Let me take this guy down. And I know there are some IBCA events. Where is that? Sorry, I normally have this up and running, but I don't. Not out of practice. I just that's the annual events. Here we go. I got to figure out IBCA's page here. All right, January 14th. There's only one. It's going to be in Beeville, BCJLHS. What does that stand for, Casey? Any idea?
Nope.
Region 3. That is going to be in Beeville, Texas. That is this weekend, 8th annual IBCA sanction, January 14th and 15th at the B County Expo Center in Beeville, Texas. Case, did you check out the Outlaw Barbecue Society events yet?
Nope.
Why not?
Isn't it like in Dallas? Yeah.
They are in Dallas. Let's see.
I don't travel north of Waco very often. So
events, outlawbarbecue.org if you want to find it. No events until February. So all right. I just want to make sure
I really had plans to go. Never mind.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything. Beeville this weekend for Carlos Calzada. What? I thought you were gonna be you're not gonna be an Eagle Pass? Come on.
3 meats matter. Good job,
Kevin
buddy.
Caldwell. Yes, you're late, Kevin. What's up, Kevin? He knew. Okay, what sanctioning and why? All right, the new county junior livestock show. Okay, thank you, Dustin. I appreciate that. No, I don't know what that means. All right, cool, guys. Cool. Well, Case, how have you been, man? You've been on the show kind of hit and miss. We missed you. A lot of people are like, where's Case? He makes the show better. He keeps the pace going. And I missed you too, buddy.
I actually listened to the people. You're too busy reading the comments. So, no. It's we've been busy, man. If anybody's in College Station, hit me up. I am in College Station through the end of the week. And so I am knee deep in Aggie land in SEC country, which is completely out of my norm. And so, but if you're bored, I will likely buy dinner at Wings and More or Lanes or somewhere. So if you find yourself in College Station this week, hit me up. I'm on Wellborn Road during the day. So I am up here till the end of the week. And then I am headed home.
I'm being told there's a Wallaceville Go Metro Texan event. That's awesome. Go support the Go Metro Texan. That's the barbecue HLSR involved.
Yeah.
And Hold 'em and Hit 'em is next week. Yeah. That'll be next week when we talk about that on the show.
Houston's coming. Clay Gandy was at the tailgate Sunday, so Houston is quickly approaching for the guys preparing for the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeos. Looking forward to that one. And so, yeah, no, it's.
Have you been out in public tonight? Are you trolling the Aggies with your shirt?
No, why would people think I would just go out and troll people?
Because that is totally you. You would definitely go out and troll people in Aggie land wearing your Texas shirt.
I'm just saying, I had lunch the other day at the Dixie Chicken, and I thought it was amusing that the televisions had the Longhorn Network actually playing inside the Dixie Chicken. Just saying.
Somebody asked how many teams are expected in Eagle Pass. Kevin Caldwell is saying around 70.
Little more than I prefer. So I'm more than 20.
That is a big cook-off. That's going to be a fun weekend. El Campo's next weekend. Shots on us. I want some barbacoa. If you're going to name your team barbacoa, that's what I want. El Campo's next weekend as well. All right, guys. Well, Case, anything to add before we get out of here?
No, it's awesome. Good to be with you guys tonight. Good to be with Ernest. It's a remarkable story. Kind of an unfiltered Ernest. I was enjoying that tonight. I kind of liked it. Man, he's the passion he has for small business, barbecue, you name it. His hometowns, his people that support him around him is just remarkable. He's a hell of a story, and he makes a hell of a product. If you haven't stopped in Seguin, get there early, and you will absolutely love everything that he's got going on. So
amazing food, amazing. It's the whole vibe, like I said on the show earlier, it's a cool barbecue destination spot for sure. Now that he's put Seguin barbecue on the map, if there was there, now there is, and it's the Burnt Bean Company. Make sure you guys go and check that out for sure. Man, listening to his day, whew.
Yeah, nope.
I was like,
I mean, just to be clear, I get up about 3 o'clock in the morning too. That's just because I have to pee, and then I go back to bed.
And then you go back to sleep. So he's talking and he's going, and then he goes, yeah. And then by that time it's about 8 o'clock, and they start showing up. I'm like, what? What?
Yeah.
Come on. That's they always say barbecue's not just showing up making pretty food. It's a lot of work behind the scenes. And you mentioned that. I'm glad you did. His sides, ooh, those are awesome. Corn pudding.
It's the real deal from desserts to sides to, man, and you can tell he puts a lot of care in the product that he puts out.
All right, guys, I know I've been pushing Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock. This was a special circumstance because I wanted Ernest on to kick off 2022 with our first guest of 2022. So that's why we're here on Tuesday nights at 8. We did have 80,000 people watching, Case. That's pretty good. You know what that means? 3 on YouTube. 80,000 here, 3 on YouTube. So,
done.
No, I'm kidding. I appreciate all the YouTube traffic. We had a lot of YouTube traffic on tonight. I appreciate you guys. That is just one more way that we're going to be YouTube famous, people. So no show tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, but we will be back next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. I'm going to be prepping my trailer and getting ready to go to Eagle Pass. So this worked out on both fronts for Ernest, Case, and myself. So All good, guys. No show tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I appreciate you guys tuning in, though. We still more than Greg Rempley. Yes. Oh, I can't see. I didn't say that, but Danny said that. That might be the comment of the night. 21K on YouTube. What? No way. No way, Wes. That's awesome. That is awesome. YouTube peeps, I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in, guys. And of course, all our Facebook crowd, we always appreciate you guys. All right, Case, that is going to wrap up tonight's show. Why don't you close us out? And again, we'll be back next Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
Enjoy it, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Safe travels, everybody, up and down the road. Good night, Barbecue Nation. You too, you mask-wearing hippies in California.
Wait.